Hello, I'm Mrs. Nixon, your school librarian, and welcome to Copyright, Why I Should Care. What is copyright exactly? Copyright refers to the legal rights to an original work. These laws set the conditions under which anyone may copy, in whole or part, original works transmittable in any medium. You may be asking yourself, how does that apply to me? And what is my role in copyright? Well, we are both consumers and creators. Just as we like to be respected, we must respect the rights of artists and creators as well. Let's start with a little history lesson. Way back in the day, long before the printing press came along, works had to be copied by hand. This was something only the rich could afford and was not available to many people. But along did come the printing press and everything changed. Now things could be copied with much ease and less money. When the Constitution was written, they included copyright. In Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. States Constitution, it reads, "To promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries." Copyright protects both published and unpublished works. That story you wrote and hid in your room and never got published, it is protected by copyright law, even if you're the only one who reads it. What it doesn't protect are things like facts, ideas, government works, including government websites and videos, and works in public domain, which we'll discuss in a few. So you may be asking yourself, well, when does copyright actually start? It starts as soon as you create something original. The moment you started writing that story, or the moment you swished paint across a canvas, all of it copyrighted. If there's a start date, there's most likely an expiration date. And with copyright, it does expire. And it's a fun math equation. Copyright lasts until the death of the author, plus 70 years after death. The exceptions to this rule would be when the work was published and in what manner, and if copyright was renewed. So what happens to copyright when it expires? Well, it enters public domain, which means it is no longer available for private ownership, and it is freely available for public use. A good example of this would be the entire works of William Shakespeare. You may have heard a teacher or two mention the fair use rule. Well, what is it? Fair use is an exception for teachers and students. It allows for limited use of copyright material without permission for things like commentary, criticism, parody, teaching, transformative works. On a side note, transformative works, a good example, is fan fiction. Don't forget to cite these things, though. To identify fair use, follow the 4 basic criteria. 1, purpose and character of the use. Ask yourself, is it for nonprofit educational purpose or a commercial nature? 2, the nature of the copyrighted work. An example of this would be biographies have factual information, so there's a little more leeway for fair use here versus a fictional work. 3, the amount you actually use. Think less is more. And 4, effect on the use of the potential market. Will copying this create a negative effect on potential sales of the original works? My teacher keeps mentioning Creative Commons license. And Creative Commons, what is it? Well, Creative Commons provides Creative Commons licenses and public domain tools that give every person and organization in the world a free, simple, and standardized way to grant copyright permissions for creative and academic works, ensure proper attribution, and allow others to copy, distribute, and make use of those works. When accessing original works, you can refine your search by clicking on Creative Commons in the Tools section of Google Search. You may see icons like these. You'll see the CC symbol and maybe the little dude with the BY, the NC, SA, ND. When you are searching in Creative Commons, you want to remember your icon meanings. So if you have the BY, that is attribution. Others can copy, distribute, display, perform, and remix your work if they credit your name as requested by you. The equal symbol stands for no derivative works. Others can only copy, distribute, display, or perform verbatim copies of your work. Our backwards, upside down C with the arrow is share alike. Others can distribute your work only under a license identical to the one you have chosen for your work. And the last one here, the NC, your money sign crossed out, is non-commercial. Others can copy, distribute, display, perform, or remix your work, but for non-commercial purposes only. So you may be asking yourself at this point, is plagiarizing and copyright infringement the same? No. Plagiarism is when you copy someone else's work and present it as your own. Copyright infringement is when you use someone else's work without their permission. However, both of them can occur at the same time. Think plagiarism is more academic dishonesty, and copyright infringement is breaking the law. A couple of examples of copyright infringement. You see someone record a film in a movie theater, or you've purchased a film that was recorded in a movie theater. You put someone else's images on your blog without permission. This is all great to know, but you may be wondering if you can share things now without infringing. Movies, games, pictures, music, writings, copyright is protecting the creators of these things. Remember, we must respect that. So, in the age of social media, what can you do? If you decide to share something, remember to link the artist's YouTube channel or official website. You want your friend to read the book that you love so much? Lend your copy of the book to your friend. Does it have a Creative Commons symbol? Remember, this allows you to use the image without permission, but make sure to double check and still give credit. So, what did we learn about copyright today? Our role is both as creator and consumer. The advent of the printing press set it in motion, and it was included in the Constitution. It protects both the published and the unpublished. Public domain means it is freely available for public use. Fair use gives us limited use of copyright without permission. And remember our 4 criteria. 1, purpose and character of use. 2, nature of copyrighted work. 3, the amount you use. And 4, the effect of the use on the potential market. You are infringing on a creator when you use their work without their permission. Plagiarism and copyright infringement are not the same thing, but you can do both of them at the same time. Creative Commons gives the creator a way to give the public permission to use their work. When sharing, double check your permissions and link appropriately. You can always email me with any questions or feel free to stop by the library and ask. Thank you.